Okay, good morning, Forex traders. You're welcome to our weekly from Cube Concept Forex Academy. As usual, we are in the Situation Room, and Mr. Akpan is my name, your moderator. My fellow analyst, let's start with the lady first, Maylee. She has been very, very helpful. Mr. George, Edward, Mr. Michael Darego, and Michael Pupan. Okay, today I think this is week 3, week 4 since we started our analysis. Today we'll be looking at GBP CHF, XAU USD, AUD USD, USD CHF, Euro NZD, Euro GBP, GBP JPY, and the Euro USD. Okay, for today we're going to be doing a lot of trend lines and a lot of moving average lines. So we're going to do basically that, and that is what we're going to use in picking our trades for this week. Without much ado, I'm already at GBP CHF. Okay, and you know, obviously, where we want to get the trend from is from the weekly or monthly time frame. So I'm already at the monthly time frame, and you can see that for the past 3 to 4 months, this pair has actually been buying. Okay, it has been in a descending triangle for a while now. I think for a very long time, since let's say since 2015. So for me, I'm expecting a breakout of the descending triangle. That's why, from even the analysis I'm looking at a bullish or buy bias for this pair. This is on monthly, so I think it is buy. All right. Now moving down to the weekly, you've seen that our MA lines have crossed 10 and 20 MA has crossed the 50 MA, which could also be referred to as a bullish cross or a golden cross. So I am buy bias on this pair, right? I'm buy bias on this pair, and I'll be looking for buying opportunities. Though we are looking at a resistance area just after the bullish candle on weekly, we still have about 103 pips, so you can still take between 80 to 90 pips as your take profit before it gets to that resistance. I'm expecting the pair to break through that resistance, but that will mean we do a buy stop above it. But for now, there is 80 to 90 pips up for grabs. Okay. Now it looks as if the pair is actually pulling back. On the daily, it's the same thing. Having a buy bias on H4, you can actually see some pullbacks. Okay, so you might want to wait for a pullback if your trading time frame is H4. I think it could pull back all the way to the 10 MA, or it could do all the way to the 20 MA, most likely 20 MA, which is about 35 pips. So I will be looking at how the price reacts to the 10 and 20 MA before I finally take my long position. So if you're taking H1, if you're doing H1, you should also look at it from the MA lines. They're still telling you to buy, obviously. But when the buy is set, you should be able to take up your buy signals and buy this pair. Okay. The pullback area which I'm looking at is somewhere at 1.322. Okay, I think they've actually done that pullback from time within analysis. So I think the buy is set, but still wait for the final bullish signal before you enter the trade for a buy. The next one is the spot metal gold USD. For your information, and I hope you know that when we say gold, you can also use a similar analysis for silver. For some past months now, the pair has been in a flag. Okay, there's been some retracement. It bought for a long time now, for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th month now. It has been in a flag. It has been retracing. Okay, So it sold the whole of last month of January. On the weekly time frame, it still looks like it wants to sell. Let me push this. Okay, still looks like it wants to sell. Okay, we are in day 2, and I'm still seeing a bearish candlestick. On the daily, you can begin to see that the buy, or the sell rather, is beginning to really form up, though we'll have to wait for a whole day before we sell this pair. So going to a lower time frame, H4, I think that it's actually retracing. It has been selling and it's doing some retracement. You can see that very clearly on the line chart, but it actually looks like it has been buying. Looking at the chart there, it has gone down, is making a pullback for a downward move. Now, my MA lines are still saying I should buy it. So before I'll sell this pair, I'll wait for my MA lines on H4 to cross because I'm a H4 trader before I do the sell for this pair. So right now, I'll be waiting for this market to get ripe for a sell, or if I cannot wait, I can do a sell stop at 1846.85. 1846.85. I can do a sell stop at 1846.85. 1846.85, then I can go to sleep and I'll wait for it to break that, take me into the sell stop and continue downward. So that's for XAU USD. USD, it's been a while since we traded that pair, so let's see what the pair has for us. So AUD USD, where are you? Okay, here you are. Okay, right now, if we go back to monthly, let me reduce this a bit. Let me bring up my moving average lines. Okay, just a second. Moving average lines. Okay. All right. Let me complete them. I like using 4 moving average lines. It helps me with my analysis. Okay. Green will be good for it. Okay. All right. The last one is 200. 200. It is always the black line. Okay. So on monthly is already telling me to do a buy, but I think it's actually retracing. Let me use a fib to see where the retracement might get to. Using my fib, since it's an uptrend, you use the most recent low to the highest point. Okay, with the fib there now. Okay, let me do that. I think I didn't get it right. I think I didn't get it correctly. Oh, I got it correctly. It's fine. Okay, so the fib is currently at 23.6. I will see how price reacts to it, but I'll be looking at if price breaks 23.6, it should hit 38.2, which corresponds to the support line of 0.75184. I could decide to do my buy from that point of fib of 0.75184. If I can't wait, I can decide to do a buy limit so that when the price hits there, it can start reversing upward. It can take me up, and I am buy. It's actually selling, but it's buying right now. So I can do a buy. A buy limit, so that it can take me up. But let me go to a lower time frame and see, because the pair has been buying for a while, and I think you know that price doesn't just go in a straight line. So it buys, it retraces. As you can see below here, it bought for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, then it retraced for 2 months. It has actually bought 2 months again. I think it's retracing right now. So it has retraced the whole of January. This is February. Let's see what it's going to do. So on the weekly, I can see that the price is coming back to a point of value, which is a 10 moving average. So I'm going to see how the price will react to that point. Okay. On D1, the moving average line has actually crossed for sell on D1. And looking at the swing failure, looking at my line chart, you can actually see that the swing upwards has failed. Okay, the swing upward has failed. So that gives me a selling bias. Okay, that is the first swing low for some time now. So instead of buying this market right now, I will be selling the market right now because my MLI is telling me to sell, and I will be watching for sell signals. Going back to my candlesticks, I'll be waiting to have a sell confirmation. Then I can do what? Sell this market. Or rather, again, I can do a sell stop at 0.76042. 76. Wow, that's actually activated it. Okay, so what to do is if I wait at the end of this candle, this is D1. Now let me go to a smaller time frame. All right, this is a smaller time frame. The MA lines are still telling me to sell. 10 and 20 is telling me sell. It has crossed the 200 MA, which is equivalent to what is called a death cross. That is the 50 crossing the line, 200 MA downward. So for me, it's selling, and you can see for some time now it has been making lower highs. Okay, I think from this point it has started making, this is a lower low, the first lower low, then this is the second lower low. Then I still see that it's having a sell bias. Right now, if I want to sell this market, I'll do a sell stop somewhere at 0.75982. That will be my sell stop. I will push it all the way down to 0.75184, which is about 81 pips or thereabout. If you're a longer time trader, that could be the take profit one before it goes down. So a sell. I'm looking at a sell for this pair right now, though it is a long-term buy, but right now it is selling, or it's pulling back rather, and there are very interesting sell opportunities for it. Okay, now we're going to look at the USD CHF. USD CHF, where are you? CHF. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay, I can't find it here. I know where to find it. Okay, USD CHF. Okay, as usual, we go to monthly to see the direction. And for USD CHF, it's buying. It has been buying for the past 2 months, especially because of the fact that this point is a support area. So it has bounced off the support and it's beginning to buy. Though my ML lines on the monthly is saying I should sell. On the weekly, you can see that the buy has been going on for a while now. Okay, so I'll be looking for buying opportunities in this pair. Okay, going to the daily time frame, I think it has bought for how many days now? For the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, it has been buying. with pullbacks, which are depicted by red candles. Let me put a line chart so that you can see that with pullbacks, all right, and it's currently doing what? Pulling back right now. So I'll look for, okay, I think the pullback is done because of this doji candle or spinning top. It has gone all the way down to the 10 moving average, and there has been lower price rejection, though there has also been higher price rejection. So the pullback, let me check, as at the time was at 0.89260. 0.89260, somewhere there, okay? But it looks like the pullback is done with, but I would rather allow this to pull back at least to the 10 or the 20 moving average before I enter for a buy, because market always does up and downs. At least it will come down to the area of value before I do my buy. It's a buy bias, no doubt, right? But I'll wait for my bullish trigger before I enter for a buy. I think there is about if you take up from this point to the next resistance, I think, or to this point, there are about 100 pips for grabs here, okay? So just take your time, look for your buy trigger, and you can have like 50 to 100 pips for grab. On H1, okay, I think the pullback is done with, because this is a very wonderful pullback. That's pulled back to the area of value, and I think is resuming the buy. So the buy is actually set, I think, because 892, just a little bit below, okay. Okay, so I think we can buy this market right now because it's actually pushing. It should have been in the market already, so it's a buy. It's a buy for me, okay? Now let's look at the Euro NZD. The Euro NZD is a pair that has been selling for the past 4 months, okay? Looking at this monthly chart, you can see that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now let's just take the ones that we see mostly red candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months now. It has been selling for 5 months now, and this February it has started selling already, okay? On the weekly, you find that this sell has closed below the 200 moving average on weekly. Let me expand that so that you see, okay? It has closed below the 200 moving average on weekly. It has retested the 200 moving average and is going down. This market is a definite sell, and it's going to sell for a while because the European economy has not been good for a long time now. News still coming in from the European economies. When we say European economies, we're looking at the big economies in Europe. The big economies in Europe is Germany, Spain, Italy, France. All those 4 countries I've mentioned have not had anything good coming in from those points. Right now, as at this time, you can see 10 MA is about crossing the 200 MA for a sell. So it is a strong selling pressure for me, or a strong selling bias. So this pair is an all sell for me. Now, possible points where you can take profits. I'm going to do some support lines here. You can see one there. You can see another one here. Okay, so from the current price now to where the first support is about 162 pips, in which you can take 100 pips or thereabout. If it breaks that line and comes down all the way here, you have about 500 pips. Now I'm going to put on the line chart, and I'm going to show you a double top that has formed for a while. This is the first double top here, and this is the second double top here. The neckline, let me use a trend line to give you the neckline. This is the neckline, okay? You find out that the neckline is sloping downwards, okay? So that gives me a high probability double top from this point, okay? Now, even looking at these two, you can still see that it's a double top with a sloping neckline still that way. So looking at the bigger picture, you see this clearly when we're looking at the candlestick chart. So if we want to play by the rules, you're supposed to measure from here to the second top. Now, the neckline is here. Let's take the lowest position here. The lowest position will give you about 300 pips. If you want to take bigger risks, you can have 600 pips downwards, okay? So we have at least 150 pips to 200 pips for grabs in this structure, okay? Now, looking at the break now, you see where my neckline is. Let me magnify. You see where my neckline is. You see that if you measure from the break downwards to the current position, it has done 300 pips already. Now that means that it still has more pips to do. So I would sell this market for all it's worth, and you can point to the next resistance, which is about 100 pips currently now. Okay, it's 162 pips, so you can take 100 pips or more. If it breaks that support, it will go all the way to the second support, which is about 525 pips, which corresponds to the high of the second top. If we want to take the highest one of the second top, it's fine, but let's just be conservative. Let's use this as the high. So you find out that the second support, which is at 1.62624, looks a formidable point where you can do your TP2. So the first TP2 is about 150 pips or thereabout, will be close to the support at around 1.66139. Okay, so for me, it's a buy, it's a sell market for this pair. You can see that the sell is already ongoing. The sell is already what? Ongoing. Though currently is at a support region, that support is where the price is currently 1.67708. I'll be looking at a situation. If I magnify, you see that there have been a lot of price action at that support area. Price has been hitting that support area for a while, so I'm expecting a break. The ML lines is still telling me to sell, and you see that the ML line has been holding the price downward as a dynamic support. So I'm expecting a break of this support area, which will drive price to the next support area, which is 1.66139. So it's a sell all the way. Right now, as we speak, I'm already having my sell setup. You could see a bearish two Marabuzos forming. I just wanted to break below this bullish candle, then I'll enter for a sell. On the H4, you can see that it's been selling all the way, and you see that the 20 moving average just crossed the 50 moving average, which is equivalent to what we call the death cross. The death cross being the 50 moving average crossing the 200 moving average downward. So you can see all indications of this pair is telling us to do what? To sell. So it is sell all the way for this pair. We're going to go to the next one, which is the Euro GBP. Euro GBP, where are you? Euro GBP, where are you? Okay, found it. I think Euro GBP and Euro NZD are behaving in a similar manner, basically because it's the euro that is involved. Okay, for the past months, this pair has also been selling. Right now, it is still selling on the monthly. If we want to use a trend line to see how far it could sell, if I want to pick the trend line from this point all the way connecting this. If I want to use the body, I can use the body. You can see that selling to that line is about 49 pips, 42 pips. This is on the monthly. I rather like using the lows and high. Okay, so you can see with this, you can see that we have a lot of pips downward for this pair. On the weekly, you find out that this week the pair is going below the 200 moving average, though the week just started. This is Tuesday. Also looking at the moving average line, the 10 just crossed 50 moving average and the 20 is about to cross 50 moving average for a sell in this pair. Looking at the daily, the MA lines have all crossed, and recently, let me see, when was that? On the 25th of January, the moving average, the 50 moving average, crossed the 200 moving average downwards. That is the dead cross that we've been talking about. And you can see the distance from the faster moving average, the 10 and 20 moving average, and the 50 and 200 moving average is quite far, telling you that this is a strong indication that this market is going to sell for a long time. Now, looking at the distance between the 10 and 20 moving average, we also see that the 10 moving average is a bit far from the 20 moving average downward, and it has been acting as a dynamic resistance for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, close to 3 weeks. So this pair, this tells me that these are strong sell signs for this pair. I'm going to sell this pair for all it's worth. Looking at support and resistance lines, if I put one here, let me use a line chart, the pair has been quite choppy, but it still has its direction. Okay, more touches here. So 0.87623, the pair is going to sell down there. If it breaks that, this is where you have the next support at 0.86877. If it breaks through that, then it's going to go all the way down to 0.84946. Okay, that's for daily. Now on the weekly, you can see that the pair, as we speak, is already moving down, down, down. All the while, the pair, the MA line has been telling us to sell, sell, sell this pair. I think the pair, let me maximize, just broke across the support. Just broke across this support, and it's going to be okay. It's moving towards this support area, and it's going to be an all sell affair. Right now, where price is to the next possible support is about 33 pips, and for this pair, I don't think 33 pips is something that's going to be very hard to get. So the pair is selling all the way down, down, down. Okay, now the GBP JPY is the next pair to look at. All right, GBP JPY, where are you? GBP JPY. Okay, now going back to our monthly, don't mind my lines. I hope you can understand the lines. Let me reduce some of it. Okay, let me reduce this also. Okay, so chart is clean. Okay, so looking at this pair, let me minimize a bit. You can see that this pair has been buying for the past 3 months. And for your information, the M just crossed 20 for a buy somewhere between, let me see the exact date that this happened. This happened on the this happened somewhere in December, 1st of December 2020. Okay, so this pair has been buying all the way. You see that January closed above the 50 moving average on the monthly. So I have a buy bias for this pair. On the weekly, last week closed well above 200 moving average, 200 moving average, telling me that it's a serious buy bias. For the past 1, 2, 3, let me count that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, this pair has been buying, and the MA lines are still saying buy. Okay. On the daily, I think there has been a sort of retracement there. Yes, there has been a short pullback for the buy to continue. On this chart, you can see, let me minimize it, that the 10 and 20 MA has been acting as the dynamic support with this pair. So you find out that for me, it's a buy all the way for this pair, and I think you should do the same. All the MA lines are saying we should buy. The gaps are quite enormous, so it's buying for now for GBP JPY. On the H4, I think it's a good time to also buy. If this ends on a bullish note, that is by a bullish engulfing, then I would buy this pair. All right. So right now, it's still saying a very good buy for GBP JPY. So all you need to do is go to your time frame, look for your bullish trigger or your buy triggers, and you're in for a wonderful time with this pair. All right. Euro USD will be our last pair today, and let's see what does it have. Okay, Euro GBP, Euro USD rather. Let me just draw the trend line so that we can still remember. This was what happened somewhere in December. There was a breakout, and the pair has broken out and has been buying for a while. Right now, it is doing another retracement. Okay, so what I see, let me pull out my feed and let's see where this retracement might stop. Okay, because it's an uptrend, we'll take the Fibonacci from the latest swing low to the highest point. Okay, so right now the feed is showing us that this pair may be retracing to the 50. Okay, it's actually sitting on that. Okay, it has broken past. The price is below the 38.2 fib line. It's approaching the 50 fib line. So it's selling right now. So on the monthly, we'd like to see where the retracement may stop, which may be either 50 or 61.0 depending, but we're looking at how the pair will be reacting to the feed. But right now, I will have a sell bias for this pair. Right now, this pair is selling from the current price position to the 20 moving average, which I feel the price will get to is about 56 pip on the weekly, is a good point, and that 20 moving average corresponds to the 50 fib line on the monthly that we saw. So if you like 50 pips, is a good time to buy. And let me go to a lower time frame to see. If I were to trade this, I would do an instant buy, and my take profit will be at the 50 fib, which will be 1.19803. Okay, going to the daily time frame. Okay, you can see that the sell is already happening. The sell is already happening, and I'm looking at the 50 line fib. Okay, from what we just saw now, 50 line fib, that you should have like 50 pips to play with. But I'm looking at the next support, which is at an area of 1.19110, which should give me about 120 pips. So I could take 110 pips away from this trade this week. So it's a selling game. Uh, don't bother yourself about if it's buying. It is selling. It has even broken the trend line now. Let's go back to see the trend line. Can we see the trend line? You see that trend there, okay? On the lower time frame, it seems it has broken past the trend line, okay? You see, it's going to see how the price will close. If it will close below this trend line, it's still moving towards the 50 feet. I'm still looking at the possible close at or retracement or end of retracement at the 1.19110 level. So if you want to trade this pair, it's a sell all the way. It's a sell all the way. Okay, with this, I think we've come to the end of our weekly analysis from Trade Concepts Forex Academy. This was the situation room of the Academy. Moderating is the usual Mr. Akpan. Others that were with me were Mr. George, Mr. Edward, Miss Gina, or we call her Melly, Michael Okupan, and Derek White. Thank you very much. Please give us a thumbs up if our analysis has been going well for you. uh, like like us, subscribe, and also share our videos to your friends that are also traders, so that they can take ample opportunity and enjoy the trading week. Thank you very much. See you next week and have a prosperous trading week. Bye.